This is a game that I really enjoyed. First off, starting with the simple soundtrack, even though it wasn't made as part of this jam, just the overall theme and feeling that it gives you in the very beginning fits for this game really well. So this game is very similar to Factorio, if you've played that. So basically a lot of conveyor belts. You have some sort of input, in this case food and coffee. The converter, in this case, is the programmers, and the output is code. It took me a little while to actually get the hang of this one. So you start off with a certain set amount of money, about $10,000, and you need to be able to build out your pipeline and convert that food and coffee into code. So you can get stuck a few different ways in this. So if you don't build it out properly, and what I didn't realize in the beginning is that the programmers can actually pick stuff off from the side of the conveyor belts. And one thing that you don't get back is actually when you place something and then delete it later, you do not get the resources back for that. So your first setup really has to be perfect in order to take a small amount of food and coffee with enough programmers to then convert it into code and capture that code and thus earn money. So you'll see me fail a few times in trying to get this right, but ultimately once I got it working, this game was a lot of fun. And once you actually get into it, you kind of start to learn and understand how it works. And then it's just about ramping up as quickly as you can to see how much money you can actually end up making. There's a lot of different filters on these conveyor belts. I ended up only really using the merge and the filter out for code. I wasn't really sure what the use cases were for the other ones, but ultimately what I ended up building was basically a simple conveyor system that merges food, coffee together with enough programmers to turn that food and coffee into actual code that would then be spit out and put into the server or the data center. That's where it actually converts it into money. One thing that you do need that you'll otherwise turn into a roadblock is you'll need some sort of trash can so that you can take anything that's not consumed by the programmers in the beginning and just dump it into the trash. And this way it won't clog up your conveyor belt system. So here's another time where I didn't properly allocate my resources as far as being able to build a conveyor belt pipeline of food and coffee to the programmers with enough money left over to have the data center be able to actually collect the output from the programmers. Overall, I really enjoyed this game. It took a little bit of getting used to, but for a Ludum game, this was an absolute ton of fun. There's absolutely things that could be improved upon, like it'd be really cool to be able to rotate around the scene, because at certain times once you zoom out too far you can't. It's hard to play certain things, but again, overall it was a lot of fun. One thing I also really liked is the detail and the style of this game. So if you zoom in, you can see it's a voxel based little character for the programmers. The attention to detail on graphics as well as the sound effects. For instance, you can hear the keyboards typing of the programmers, which is really good. Amazing game, something that I really enjoyed playing. Definitely one of the top games for me of Ludum 46. And once you get the hang of it, you can really build some complex systems. So once we got the hang of it, I ended up building this multi-conveyor belt system with a ton of programmers taking in all sorts of food, coffee, and spitting out a ton of code. And you can kind of just replicate this over and over again. And this drives up how much money that you are making per minute, and then it's kind of a rinse and repeat step. So, amazing game, especially for a game jam. I could definitely see this going further than something that I would be interested in playing and seeing how it progresses.